It doesn't have to be an overly complex risk register. The ISO 9001 standard never asks for a risk register. Just saying. Today we have another quality clinic video. Today's question is about how do we apply risk-based thinking to processes. So let's do a quick video about it. Welcome to another video and Happy New Year. I wish you all God's richest blessings for this new year. Hi, I'm Davi-Gaye Julal-Henry, a quality and food safety management system consultant here in Jamaica. Now, what is risk-based thinking and what does it mean in a process? Now, risk is defined as the effect of uncertainty upon an objective. And the risk can be both positive and negative. The positive is typically called opportunities, while the negative is called risk or threats. Risk-based thinking is not about a complex risk management system and having a challenging risk register, but it's thinking about risk in everything we do in our organization. Now, let us look on what is a process. I'll post a diagram here where we can see the breakdown of a process. Our processes have inputs, then we have activities that transform the inputs into what we call outputs. Now, in everything there is uncertainty. Your inputs have uncertainty if you're raw material, if your ingredients, if the work material that you're using as your input does not meet the relevant standards, then there's the uncertainty that you will not get the output that you desire. In doing the activities to transform your inputs to outputs, you may also have risk, as there is some level of uncertainty. You have people doing activities, you have equipment doing activities, and there may be failures. There may be lack of competence, lack of knowledge, etc. And this can lead to failure in the processes. Therefore, we consider risk there. And in our outputs, the outputs may not meet our acceptance criteria. There's an uncertainty there. Therefore, there's risk existing in our outputs. Now, how do we apply risk-based thinking to our processes? We must find the risk and opportunities that exist. So ask the question, what could go wrong? Evaluate each process in the organization, what could go wrong? What could cause delays, errors, or customer dissatisfaction? What could be done to improve speed, quality, costs? And that will assist you in finding the risk and the opportunities. So look on your inputs, ask the questions, look on your activities, ask the questions, look on your outputs, ask the questions. And you do this for all the processes throughout your organization. Now, after you've done that, you need to assess the risk. It can be a simple likelihood versus impact, and you make a quick scale criteria that defines how the organization, determines the risk level. You can make it as simple or complex as you want, but the ISO 9001 standard, it says you must apply risk-based thinking. It didn't say you need to have a risk management system. Therefore, you go as complex as you wish to have it. So you focus on what your organization deems as high risk. Apply resources to those to mitigate, reduce, treat those risks. And for opportunities, you want to enhance the opportunities. You want to take advantage of those opportunities. So you apply treatment there also. Put systems in place within the processes to prevent error. I recall a client having a staff that forgot to update a log to say that they did an activity. There was evidence that the activity was done, however, it was just not signed to indicate when it was done. And the corrective action that was being proposed was to retrain staff to complete the log. And I was like, I don't think that will work, because we can see the column there. It's a simple oversight. But we need to reduce human error, because we're humans, we're fallible. The simple proposal I made to this client was to input it in the spreadsheet that if the due date for the activity has passed, the cell will turn red. When it turns red, that will alert the operator that, oh, I missed this activity, or I missed the input in the date, and that would bring their attention to it. So sometimes there are some simple things that we can put in place. Automation, that's not that simple, but yeah, automation, have verification checks, have checkpoints, have systems where it flag errors, etc., and that would reduce errors in a system. Other controls are training staff, yes. Having clearer or simpler instructions. So sometimes you over document or system make it very complex that no one wants to read it, or if they do read it, they cannot understand it easily. So we put changes to the system that will detect or prevent errors in the future. Or when that is done, implement and monitor and review. Check back on those risks. Are the risk levels being reduced? Are they controlling? Are they reducing the number of errors that you're seeing in the processes? Set like a regular schedule for review, for example, a quarterly schedule for that review. Check that the actions taken are effective and update the risks when the process change also, because a lot of times we change processes and forget that we need to assess the risk. So basically in everything that you do, you assess the risk. Let's give an example. Your customer calls to order a new print. The customer gives you the request. What is the risk that can happen here? Well, there is a possibility of you writing down the wrong request from the customer. So, how can we reduce this risk? Well, you may say we can automate it where we put something on their website where the customer submits their request through the website. Therefore, you do not have to write down the request. There is no duplication, eliminated, the error eliminated. Or it could be that you have to write down the request and send the request to the customer and the customer confirms. That's a way that you would reduce your risk in the process. Now, here are some common mistakes that happen with risk-based thinking. We treat it like a paper-based system. No, it is something that is constant and is living. So in everything you do, we have a new project. Okay, what can go wrong in this project? And we sit down, think about it, and we apply those changes to it. It's something that can be immediate, that you can be doing right away. But for your management system, you want to document some things. It doesn't have to be an overly complex risk register. The ISO 9001 standard never asks for a risk register. Just saying. And not reviewing the risk regularly. Its risks are dynamic. They are constantly changes because there are so many moving parts in organization. People change, equipment change, the environment change, the processes change. So whenever there are changes, you need to be reevaluating the risk. Are there any new risks creeping up? Or sometimes the old risks may no longer be relevant because you have eliminated them. Therefore, you need to constantly be reviewing the risks. And do not ignore opportunities. So a lot of organizations I see ignore the opportunities. So how can I enhance the system? So sorry about that. I could not finish that video because I moved from being early to work to being now almost late to work. So let's wrap up now. Going back to that printing process. There is an opportunity to create standardized templates for different types of prints, such as business cards, flyers, etc., to increase efficiency of the design creation process. So that way, instead of starting from scratch with your design, you'd have something existing that you just work from. Another example is to automate the process. That's an opportunity to improve on efficiency. So wrapping up now, thank you very much for watching. If you would like more information on risk, I do offer risk management training, but as usual, you can ask me questions, comment on the quality clinic, and I will do a quick video for you just to explain any concept that you don't understand. But remember also, if you're having issues within your organization that you will need advice on, you can always comment on the quality clinic, reach out to me outside, and I will assist you as best as possible. Create a quick video to share with everyone so they can also gain from the knowledge. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of your day and God bless.